In this example, we're going to look at viewing what-if analysis on our dashboard. In this particular example, we're going to look at how revenue changes when we change the value of price, cost, and quantity. We're going to use a very simple formula to determine this for this example. We're going to say that revenue equals price minus cost times quantity. And what we're going to do is as we change any of these three different variables, we're going to see how that impacts the revenue. If we look at our Excel file down here, we see that the revenue equals C minus D times E, or price minus cost times the quantity. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some horizontal sliders to our dashboard here, and that will allow us to change the value of the price, change the value of the cost, and change the value of the quantity. And then we'll see how that changes the revenue total in our dashboard. So I'm just going to bring in some sliders here. Bring in 3 of them since we have 3 different variables that we're wanting to change. Now the first variable we're going to look at is price. So I'm going to click on the top slider here, and I'm going to go over here to my properties, and I'm going to, for my title, I'm going to select C2, which represents my price. And I'm going to select as the data, I'm going to select this yellow cell here, which is my price cell. And I'm going to change the scale. I want to be able to change the price from between $0 and $500. Now let me modify my second slider, which I want to represent cost. So for my title here, I'm going to choose D2, which is my cost title. And for my data, it will be D3, which is the cost per unit for this particular example. And I want to be able to change the scale for this to be anywhere between $0 and $200. And now let me change the quantity. So I'm going to go choose my third horizontal slider here. And I'm going to choose cell E2 for the title, which is quantity. And I'm going to choose cell E3 for the value here. And I'm going to change the scale here to be between 0 and 4,000 units. And now we want to have a cell here that represents the total revenue. I'm going to come over down here to text and to label. I'm going to bring a label here, and I'm going to link it to our revenue column. I'm going to click link the cell. I'm going to choose the green column here, which represents our revenue. And let's make it a little bit bigger so we can see it better. Over here to our appearance tab. Click on text. Then for the text, we want to increase the font size a little bit. Let's make it 24 font. Actually, let's make it even bigger than that. Let's go to 36. And since this revenue cell is looking at the other 3 cells that these sliders are connected to, when we make a change on these sliders, it's going to affect the revenue. And this will allow us to determine how increasing the price or decreasing the cost, or maybe changing the quantity, how that affects our revenue. It's a very simple example, but it will show you how it will work, and you can customize this to your own examples. Click Preview. So I have my slider. So if I increase price, notice how that's affecting my revenue. If I were to lower cost or increase cost, I see how that's affecting my revenue as well. Also, if I were to sell more units, see what impact that has. If I lower the units, I see how that's affected me as well. So in this example, we can use the sliders to create different scenarios and see how changing one aspect of our business will affect the overall business. And you can make these examples as complicated or as simple as you need to based on whatever you're trying to determine in your different business. And this is our what if scenario.